In our last update, which was right there on Tuesday, we still wanted to see Bitcoin drop lower towards our support area between $119,000 and $120,000 to then potentially see a reversal to the upside. And as you can see, I was interested in the short around the daily open. Now, if you go over to the charts, as you can see, we did get the bounce a bit above the daily open. We got that reversal, tested our support area, and today we are seeing a bounce to the upside. So as usual, before we dive into today's price action and what you can potentially expect next, let me quickly recap what I personally did. So if you remember, I was in a long position from last week and I had set a hard stop loss at $121,000, so just below the weekend lows. Because I did say that if we took out these lows, I did expect my support area to get retested, and then I wanted to assess if I opened a new long position or not. So I got the job, we took out the weekend lows, and I got stopped out the rest of my long position for massive profits still. And then for the short position, unfortunately, as we had moved above the daily open, which I didn't really expect, I decided not to open the short position, which was a very big mistake to be honest, because we did have two imbalances, which is ideal to see a top. And then when we saw the recovery of this 30-minute imbalance, this is when I realized that this should be the daily high if we want to drop to $119,000, $120,000. And that's exactly what happened. We got a massive drop after that. And then, even though we did see a pretty decent bounce while front running my support area, I did say that even though we got a nice bounce, for me, I didn't really like the lows on the 4 hour, and I still wanted my area to get retested. So I was able to catch a decent short position on Thursday's daily open, took it back down, and then I had to leave, so I put my stop loss in profits at $123,300. And what happened, I have to admit, was pretty annoying while I was away. We got the move up to the daily open, which is where I opened my short position. I got stopped out, and then price came back down, tested our support area. Volume was very good on Binance because we had two early imbalances. So I took my long position right at the lows, $190,800. And today, if we go over to the charts, as you can see, we are still hovering above that support. So with all of that said, before you move on, I have to say that Sunday's plan until now is playing out exactly as predicted. This was literally the only scenario that I outlined on Sunday. Take out the high, drop back down to our support. That's exactly what happened. We took out the high and came back down to our support, which is now offering a bounce to the upside. So with that said, what can you expect next? Well, overall, my plan hasn't really changed. To me, this support area is extremely important. And that's why I was very aggressive on my long position and cut the exact low, because this is a massive support area. So with that said, do we have any resistance to the upside that we can be aware of? Well, if we go on the daily, we do have a daily imbalance. And if we go on the 12-hour, we also have a 12-hour imbalance. For the 12-hour imbalance, I would expect it to get filled. So a move up towards $122,700. Let's go back on the 1-hour chart and we can mark this out as an area. So this area would for now be my first target for the long position. We can make it a bit smaller. That should be enough. So pretty much 122.7, 123.1 would be my first target for this long position. If price moves up and offers a rejection, I will be interested in hedging my long position, because once again, if we lose the support level, then I would expect a much bigger drop to the downside. Okay, so to the upside, this should be the first resistance I would be aware of. We do have a second resistance above, but for now, it's not too important to outline in my opinion, because it's Friday and I do find it unlikely that we break above this and then come back down. If we do break above this, especially today, then I do think that we could run hard. But to the upside, once again, this would be my resistance. To the downside, this was the support that we shared in my last update, and it is offering a bounce. So very simple on Bitcoin. We have two scenarios. Either this offers an important low and we move up to new all-time highs, or Bitcoin wants to break that support, in which case we will end up moving much lower in my opinion. And for a bit of confluence, we can look at Ethereum, because on Sunday we did share two support levels. This was the first one, this was the second one. As you can see, the second support is holding at the moment. So I can remove this, I can remove this. And on Ethereum, exact same thing that we have on Bitcoin. If we lose that low and get acceptance back into this imbalance, that would be a big sign of weakness. And I would expect much lower prices on Ethereum, so on Bitcoin as well. So as you can see, both Ethereum and Bitcoin are at massive support. On Ethereum, we have one support level, which is offering a rejection. Ideally, of course, we want to see higher. But if you break back below the lows, that would be a pretty big sign of weakness. On Bitcoin, same thing. We have one support, which is offering a bounce for now. Since it's Friday, I would like to see a continuation to the upside a bit faster. The more time we spend down here, the more likely it is that we will take out the low before Friday's close. And if we take them out, once again, personally, I will not be interested in long positions anymore, as this should be a very big sign of weakness. So with that said, that was mainly it for this update, a very simple one. Both Bitcoin and Ethereum are rejecting big support levels. The first resistance on Bitcoin that I would like to get reached would be this one above. If we move up to it and we get a rejection, then I will be interested in hedging my long position with a short position. However, if we move above it, of course, then this should be a very nice sign of strength. And then I can film a new update to the downside if Bitcoin decides to drop from here, or of course, if it moves up first and then drops. If we lose this low, then once again, that would be a massive sign of weakness, and I would be very cautious for much lower prices to come. So as usual, if you guys enjoyed this update, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.